Are you playing Rogue in midnight and your damage feels off and you want it a little bit like this? Okay, so this video is for you then. I'm gonna go through all the 3 specs of rogues. We're gonna see the talents, the gears, and everything related to rogues. So on the end of this video you can be doing 95% parse on the raids and the M+ when midnight launches. So let's dive right into it. First up, it's gonna be Assassination Rogue. And Assassination Rogue, it's a spec that thrives on poison application and chaining a venom so you can maximize your output damage. The rotation from the War Within, it doesn't change much. It's basically the same rotation, with minor changes basically. We basically don't apply Shiv after we applied the Kingsbane, because Shiv it's now a utility. So you basically don't need to apply Shiv after the Kingsbane to amplify your damage, because it won't amplify your damage. And the only thing that changed from the War Within, it's basically that you have to apply the bleeds, then you apply the bleeds to the other nearby targets. You have to apply with Crimson Tempest. Crimson Tempest only applies the bleeds to the 2 nearby targets, so it depends on the targets that you have on the screen. It depends how much Crimson Tempest you have to chain, but that's basically it, the rotation. Then you're gonna go to your regular burst, which is just DeathStalker Mark and the Kingsman. So let's dive right into it. Let's first put the poisons. These are the poisons that I'm using at the moment. And for Assassination, this was basically what I used on the War Within. So let's dive onto the rotation. So we're gonna go Roads, accumulating some combo points, Rupture, 2 Crimson Tempests, and full burst. The only problem with this build and this spec, it's the energy regeneration. It's the only problem that we have right now. As you can see, the Assassination Rogue, it's now a conservative spec, because you have to conserve a lot of energy. So that's basically the only problem with Assassination. As you can see, the rotation is pretty much the same. I'm just doing a Fan of Knives and applying Venoms. As you can see, the bleeds are always on all the targets, because I'm always applying the Crimson Tempest, and the rotation is basically the same. As you can see, basically the damage is always constant. It doesn't differ much for the War Within, and yeah, that's basically it. So we're gonna see the talents now, and the talents are these ones. So this is the talent that I'm using for M+. I'm gonna basically show one talent for M+ and one for a single target. I'm not gonna go through all the builds that I have here, but I'm gonna put all the builds on the video description below, so if you want to copy, you can copy everything down below. But I'm gonna show you the single target build if you want to copy, and if you want to use Fate Bound, you can use it as well. I'm gonna put on the video description down below. So for Assassination, the last part is just the stats. The stats, what do you want? You want Mastery, Crit, Haste, and Versa. It's exactly like this. I have here the stats wrong, but don't mind my stats, because I was trying to move to Outlaw, which we are gonna see on a second. But the stats are literally these ones: Mastery, Crit, Haste, and Versa, on that order. So for Assassination, it's basically everything. And let's dive onto Subtlety. So next, it's Subtlety. Subtlety, it's a very high-paced, high-reward class that basically rewards you if you basically do your burst right. This class, it's basically the most simple class of rogues that you can play right now. I literally on the burst do click 3 buttons, and on the M+ I click like 4. So yeah, it's super easy, super intuitive to play. If you don't know how to play Subtlety, you're gonna pick it up in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe, so it's really super easy. I'm gonna go through the rotation right now, which is super easy, like I said multiple times right now. But it's literally, you go from stealth, you apply Shadow Strike, and then you go literally through the burst. You're gonna go Shadow Dance, Shadow Blades, and right after you put Shadow Dance and Shadow Blades, you're gonna go Secret Technique. And after that, you're just gonna go, if you're going to Mythic Plus, you're gonna go Shuriken Storm and Black Powder. That's the only rotation that you have. After you basically do the burst, it's basically only Shuriken Storm and Black Powder. Shuriken Storm and Black Powder. You don't have to do anything more. Unless you stay without DeathStalker's Mark, Then you have to reapply after you have the shadow dance again. You basically reapply one shadow strike just to reapply the Deathstalker's mark, and you repeat Shuriken Storm, Black Powder, Shuriken Storm, Black Powder. So it's basically that. So let's go through the rotation. It's super easy, super high burst, and yeah. So Shuriken Storm, Black Powder. As you can see, yeah, it makes a lot of damage. So I don't have the Deathstalker's mark, so I reapplied it with the Shadow Strike. Then it's just Shuriken Storm, Black Powder, Shuriken Storm, Black Powder, Shuriken Storm, Black Powder. Reapplied again the burst, Secret Technique, Black Powder, Shuriken Storm, Black Powder, Shuriken Storm, Black Powder. And it's literally this. You don't have to do nothing more. On the single target, we can actually try to show you here. Okay, so I believe you are aware on these dummies here, on the raid dummies. It doesn't basically show your full burst, because this is a dummy, it's not a boss, and you basically do more damage on the boss. So I know that this burst over here, or with the single target build, I can show you here the single target builds. And of course, all these builds over here that I have on Subtlety, Outlaw, and Assassination, I'm gonna put everything on the description down below, so you don't need to worry. But I know that this burst over here goes at least to 120k damage on single targets. The first like 5 seconds of the fight. Then it drops to 60-70k basically. But to show the rotation is pretty much the same, the opener, and after that you're basically gonna do the opener, you're gonna do Secret Technique, and after the Secret Technique you're gonna do basically Shadow Strike and Eviscerate. Shadow Strike, Eviscerate, Shadow Strike, Eviscerate. That's basically like that. When you have cooldowns again, you basically do the burst again, and that's basically it. So if we go to that, as you can see, it was to 100k, and it stays like that on the 70k, it drops a little bit to the 50s, and then when we have the burst again, it basically goes up again. So the rotation is pretty much this, and yeah, super easy to pick up, super good, and I really like Subtlety. I'm trying to see if this is gonna be meta on midnight. If it's not meta, like everyone is saying, I believe Outlaw is gonna be the meta, so I'm trying to see if I'm gonna go Subtlety Outlaw. But any updates, I'm gonna do another video, so you guys don't need to worry. So for the talent, this is the single target build, which is the one that I use now on the burst, and this was the M plus build that I showed you before, and the other two builds, the Trickster ones, are gonna be on the video description down below as well, so you guys can copy everything. And for the stats, the stats are very important. So you want mastery, it's literally these ones over here, and of course the haste and the versa are swapped because of the outlaw builds that I was trying to do, but it's basically mastery, crit, haste, and versa. And yeah, that's basically it for the stats and everything. Of course, you want the build that basically goes through your stats, and well, that's basically that. So let's finish with Outlaw. Alright, so Outlaw, it's the most complicated spec of rogues, and I believe it's gonna be the S tier of all the rogue specs on midnight. So this is why I have all my stats wrong, because I was trying to do the perfect build here to when midnight drops basically. So well, let's go to the rotation basically. So keep in mind one thing. I'm gonna put on the video, I'm gonna put the image that you can pause right now. This is basically the priority that you want to do, and you can stop the video and watch that. If you have any question, just drop the question down below in the comments. I'm free to answer any questions. And the rotation is basically that. You want to keep it up, roll the bones as much as possible. Rush Blade, Blade Rush, it's one of the most important talents that we have right now, because it basically applies 100% of the damage to the non-primary target. So you always have to keep this up. And a very important one is Blade Fury. Blade Fury is basically what does all of your damage. So you have to keep it up. All these three on always on cooldown. So let's do the rotation then. As you can see, well, the damage it's not super high, but it's super constant. Yeah, so that's the rotation. Is basically this. You have that priority and everything. Of course, when you have Coup de Grace, you want to use it. You never want to wait the Coup of Grace. So yeah, that's basically it. When I have the 6 stacks, I use the pistol shots. If I don't have 6 stacks, I don't use pistol shots. And that's basically it. So let's see the stats now. The stats that we want. It's literally these ones. So for first, the most important stat, instead of like it was on the War Within, now it's crit. So we want crit, haste, versa, and mastery for last. It's literally that. So for the talents we can check the talents here. This is actually the rank 1 M+ build. This is for the Outlaw that has more score. So if you want to use his build, it's right this one over here. And I'm not gonna put all these builds over here because, as you can see, these were experiments that I was doing. But I'm gonna do the Trickster ones and the Fatebound one, so you don't need to worry about that. But I'm gonna show you the Trickster single target one, and of course every build is gonna be on the description down below. So yeah, that's basically it. So if this guide helped you in any form, please drop a like and subscribe. I saw that 95% of you guys are not subscribed, so that will really help me. My name is Musget, and I see you on the next video.